Welcome back, Salty fam. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. So today we're getting into the two housewife franchises that have been canceled due to large scandals. So our first one is Real Housewives of DC. Now this housewife franchise only lasted one season.
Yeah, it was just the one, and the
Yeah.
one scandal at the end of it just like nuked it. It's
Yeah.
like dead on arrival.
Right. So if you didn't know, Michaele and Tareq Salahi, I believe is their last name.
Yeah.
They went into the White House uninvited, and it was President Obama's first White House state dinner. And they dressed the part. They got through multiple security checkpoints.
They were acting like they were invited, like
Yes.
telling everyone we're invited. Oh, we're so lucky. It's this hush hush dinner, and
Yeah.
like totally bragging about it.
And even though they were not on the list, you can see in the Housewives episode that she still let them through.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, just go wait over there, and we'll get the listing sorted out. Like, we'll confirm you." But they just like walked into the party and were like, "All right, we're in."
Yeah, and it was crazy that they were able to do this. And then large mass media got, wind that this happened, and it became a security breach for the White House.
Yeah.
And this whole investigation unravels. And so here's a clip from the season 1, episode 9 of Real Housewives of DC when everyone finds out about this whole scandal.
The Virginia couple that managed to find their way into last week's White House state dinner finally spoke out about the episode on the Today Show this morning.
Tareq and Michaele Salahi arrived early this morning, 1 week after making their now famous entrance onto the national stage,
Mr. and Mrs. Salahi.
telling Matt this is all a big misunderstanding.
Well, we were invited, not crashers, and there isn't anyone that would have the audacity or the poor behavior to do that.
When you see, in addition to the headlines, some of the things that have been reported about the two of you, and I'll be blunt about it, have not been at all positive. In fact, they've been extremely negative. Do you feel as if you've been mischaracterized in the media?
It's been just devastating to what's happened to Michaele and I and our friends, colleagues, our business partners.
Our lives have been destroyed.
Our lives have really been destroyed.
Okay, so as you can see, it got huge.
Yeah, spun way out of control.
Yeah.
It was like all in the mainstream news. They had to go testify before some committee in Congress or whatever.
Yes, and they pled the fifth on every single
Yeah,
thing.
just every question. Just like, oh,
Yes.
I'm not going to answer on advice of my lawyer.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. And then, Bravo did not want this huge federal investigation into like the production company and NBC studios.
It's just too
and
much
everything.
heat, It's just like,
Yeah.
all right, this is like not going good. We're cutting it here.
Yeah, so that was like one and done for DC.
It's just crazy. And it was just crazy for them to do that. Like they totally were crashers and just
Right.
like, oh, we're going to get in there.
Yeah, because they were known for crashing other parties as well that they weren't invited to, but kind of claim that they were. So that's kind of how they got that name of like being the party crashers.
I think they just figured it out. Like it really was, at least at that time, just look like you're supposed to be there and you can
Right.
probably be there, you know?
Right. And I'm just thinking to myself, is it that easy? You just look the part these days and they just kind of shuffle you on in?
I bet not anymore. I bet it's
Yeah.
like way more intense now, but I'm sure for a long time. And then really think, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, it really probably was just if you look the part, you're in, dude.
Yeah. I know, it's so weird. Like, so that was in 2009. So not yet 20 years ago, like what, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
So,
17.
I mean, has our security really beefed up in the past 15 years, you think?
I think with like Trump and all the assassination and stuff, for sure, it's
Yeah.
probably way more intense now,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I bet in some aspects it's not though,
Yeah.
like, because at the end of the day, everything is, at least with that kind of stuff, like it's just somebody checking a name on a list, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's like a million ways you could scam that system or take advantage of that system.
Right.
Because there's people involved and people make mistakes or,
So the day after they crashed this White House event, Michaela went and put up all these photos of like her with Biden. They were with President Barack Obama.
Yeah,
they were with who were some of the other people?
I think Condoleezza Rice, just all these like big Rahm Emanuel or whatever, like all these big names. And I'm sure people who were really invited clearly understood, like, you're not taking pictures in here and posting them on the internet,
Yeah, it was very fangirl of her. And I think that also led to, it just being out there.
Totally. Like, yeah, I bet if she never posted the pictures, nothing would have happened from it.
Yeah, because the White House did state that they were not invited.
Yeah, like they straight up weren't, you know, kind of thing. Like,
but then they still claim that they had gotten a phone call.
I think
from
she
the
believed
secretary.
they were. I think he just told all that. He knew, like, hey, if we look the part, we'll get in. He's not necessarily telling her that's what they're doing.
Right.
Because why else would she go post them right away if she consciously was like, hey, we're kind of like breaking the rules to sneak into this thing,
Right. Well, then, a couple years later, he files a report with the police saying that she was missing. And it just so happens to be that she ran off with one of the members of the band Journey.
Just crazy.
And just straight up ran off, like completely ditched
just
this
like
guy.
Disappeared with them. He thinks she's like kidnapped.
Yeah. And then in 2012, they're filed for divorce.
Just crazy. What a wild like relationship. And it was even weird, like the Bravo footage of them going to the dinner or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like it was weird vibes in that van. The whole thing was weird.
Yeah.
Like
they were like talking about how excited that they were and just wouldn't stop like looping on it.
Yeah.
And then
like in a way where you can tell they're actually unsure. They're like kind of trying to like convince themselves or something.
They're kind of like, oh crap, like production's with us, filming us, like this is real. Like are we actually, like you could tell they didn't know if they were gonna get in or not.
Yeah.
And then the whole, like, the hairdresser wanted to see the actual invitation. So she goes to the car to look for this invitation. Then she's like, it's lost. I can't find it. I know I put it somewhere.
Yeah,
And then it just started getting really weird. Like, even for her to go find and look for the invitation, she was stalling. And she's like, oh, no, it's the bra that I'm looking for, not the invitation.
I think she
weird.
thought they were really invited. But then as that stuff started happening, she's like kind of realizing, are we actually, is there really an invitation, And then that's why it's the weird vibes in the van. I think he knew the whole time, like, we're totally crashing this thing.
Right.
And I think she kind of thought it was legit, but then sort of realized through it. But then afterwards, once it worked, I mean, the fact that she posted those pictures was like crazy.
They said they were on cloud nine and she was just posting all the pictures and then just shortly after it all crumbled.
And none of it probably would have happened if she didn't post those. Like nobody really would have known. It would have just, but did they? Who knows? Whatever.
Yeah, like she called Stacey in the van before they got out and before they headed into the White House. And Stacey was like, wow, that's insane you got tickets because most people who would be on that list didn't even get tickets.
You're like, but we're on that list.
Yeah, it's like it basically saying like, and you're a nobody. So.
Yeah, like how the heck would you have gotten those tickets if these other people didn't,
Yeah, so I don't know, very scandalous, and it's interesting that Bravo just like legit not
It's
even
like, we're done.
recast.
It's not even worth it.
Not even take Michaela and Tareq off. It was just like done. We are not touching DC with a 10-foot
Yeah, I think
pole.
it's just like they could probably see the writing on the wall to a little bit of like if you do DC inherently, it's gonna become more political than they probably would ever want in any other franchise would, And it's just like, and then the first season it starts with that they're like having the people be called before Congress committees. They're like, okay, yeah, this is not like the place to do this.
Yeah, Congress and Bravo not really vibing together.
Yeah, like it's more trouble than it's worth. We're gonna stick to our other cities,
Right. And also it's interesting though that they like really excommunicated the whole cast from like the whole Bravo sphere in general. So we do not see anyone from DC at BravoCon, no podcast stuff, no main
They don't go on Watch Watch What Happens Live. Like, that's where I feel like
Yeah.
you would think to see these people is like, oh, they'd pop in on a Watch What Happens Live or something.
Right.
But this franchise in Dallas as well, like, they're nothing, you
It's
know?
nothing.
Don't see anything of them.
Absolutely nothing. And so, yeah, that brings up Dallas, which is another franchise. Now, this one lasted 5 seasons. It ended up getting canceled in 2021, just right after COVID, mainly due to a history of racism and
As
racist
all these
remarks.
like little kind of racist scandals, which is a bummer because that was a good franchise. Like, honestly, like Dallas was good to watch. It was a good cast. Like,
Yeah.
they were crazy, you know, like, but
The
it's a bummer
cast-
that it's just
yeah.
totally done. Like,
The cast said that they were actually relieved that they were, you know, they weren't officially canceled, but there was
it probably started as like on pause, you
yeah.
know.
And they said that they were actually relieved because a lot of them had to go to therapy afterwards and had
They
PTSD
were like, it
from
was
the whole
totally traumatizing.
yeah, from the whole experience. And obviously, you know, Tiffany was like front and center season 5, just, you know, getting picked apart left and right by all the ladies. Kameron Westcott was, you know, involved with some racist comments to her, and just things about putting down her culture, like not wanting to eat the chicken feet at the dim sum.
Yeah.
And not wanting to eat it is one thing, but Cameron making like multiple comments about it in such a
Yeah.
negative way is just like, she thought it was disrespectful towards her culture when she's just kind of trying to share what they do, you know?
Yeah.
And then Tiffany also got thrown in the pool in Austin when
She doesn't know how to swim.
Yes.
Like that was just like the biggest blunder ever of
Yeah.
like, oh my God, you threw the person who doesn't know how to swim in the pool. Like,
Right.
And then she like called her a bitch right after, you know, it's just like, oh, that was so bad.
Yeah, and then, you know, we see like this rift again between Tiffany and Cameron because Tiffany like tells Cameron, you know, how her vocabulary isn't correct and corrects her multiple times. And Cameron takes that like really to heart and does not like to be corrected.
Oh, yeah.
Because it makes her, she feels like she's being called dumb.
Yeah.
Which Cameron puts off that whole dumb girl facade, but then doesn't
Yeah,
like
that
it when
ditzy
people
blonde
recognize
kind of
it.
thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So, and then LeeAnne
In a little bit in
Locken-
her defense, though, the grammar police is sometimes like annoying. It's especially annoying like on social media, like correcting it's like everybody knows what the heck the person was saying. Like, come on.
It is, I guess, in a sense, a little bit of a dig sometimes, depending on how and when.
It's like a nitpick, you know, it's just like a nit. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And then the one part that I really thought was kind of crazy when Brandi was projecting onto Tiffany about Brandi put out this like racist Asian video on Instagram years ago when it resurfaced.
She was
and
mocking
got-
herself.
Yeah, I got like
know.
lots of hate for it. I think for like her eyes
Yeah.
or something. She made some remark about it. Anyway, she got so much hate online. And then now that she's in front of Tiffany, she feels awkward because it brings up past scars about what this video
Yeah,
and
like all the hate she got or whatever.
Yeah, and then Tiffany's like, well, that's not my problem. Like, you're totally projecting all of that onto
Yeah.
me, which I totally get. And I agree with Tiffany on that one. Like,
Yeah, for
Brandy's
sure.
just totally projecting. And even her friend Stephanie was like, Brandy's projecting.
Yeah, it was just like this is just the audience doing this. Like, this has nothing to do with me, you know, kind of thing.
And like, you're making your issues, your personal issues that you've been
and at
through
that time,
onto
all
me.
of that stuff was way more like inflamed and crazy than
Right.
it is today, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
Like,
And so of course, you know, her and Brandy have their rifts. So she does have these like rifts with
just kind of getting it from
lot.
all sides,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And then as we saw, like her dynamic with her mom was really rocky, and
That was one thing about Dallas. There was lots of crazy dynamics with the mothers. Hers with her mom,
Deandra's mom.
never saying she's proud of her and always throwing shoes at her. And then Deandra's mom with the business, just so like carrot on a stick, you know.
Right,
it was
right.
crazy.
Yeah, so Tiffany Moon came out with this like TikTok video of her pretending to be her mom saying like, you're not going to get into Yale or Harvard,
Yeah.
and throwing a slipper at her head. And Kameron was like, well, if you're saying I'm racist and then you're posting these videos about stereotyping,
Yeah.
Asian moms, like, where's the line? What's going on? And Tiffany said that actually happened multiple times throughout her life, like many shoes being thrown at her head. And it was like a personal experience. So it's like, is she stereotyping these Asian moms, or is she just sharing a personal experience through trying to be funny?
Well, and again, at that time, it was definitely a time of like, there is zero nuance allowed. Where there is a nuance of stereotypes aren't all racist. Like, you can do things about them. Just, it depends how you do them, whether it's racist or not, really, kind of thing. But at that time, it was like no nuance allowed, kind of thing.
Right.
Or even Tiffany's not allowed to make fun of her mom, essentially, because it's too much of a stereo. It's just like, what? This is crazy. Like,
yeah, it was really interesting. And LeeAnne Locken was fired season 4 because of her racist remarks towards Carrie, calling her the chirpy Mexican, and just like a whole list of other
so it was
things.
like 2 seasons in a row where they're dealing with kind of like these like racist scandals.
Right.
And that was at the time, the start of COVID. That's when the George Floyd stuff it was like crazy time to have any of that going on. They were just like, this is too much. This is done. Like,
yeah. And I think the whole cast was involved in making racist remarks at one point or the other, and that's kind of what led to low viewership, and there was lack of being able to come back together after all these blow-ups.
Yeah, it's like they fall into that trap of there's too many people fighting, where like there's literally none of them like each other, or there's maybe 2 people who like each other. Like Stephanie and Brandi always like each other.
Right.
But there's no other friendships, and so it's like, we can't even, what is there to even film? We can't even get these people in the same room, you know?
Right. And I read that they actually had the lowest Housewives viewership in all of history.
Wow,
on
that's
that
crazy.
last season.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So like people were really not resonating with
Yeah,
this
just totally like
franchise.
tuning it out.
Yeah.
Dang, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously it was like lower because they canceled it, but didn't think it was the lowest,
Yeah, the lowest ever in history.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's pretty telling.
That
you know?
is.
Which sucks, It's like,
I liked the last. I thought it was good watching it. That's what's funny. Like, you watch it and you liked it, and then it's like nobody else did. You're like, oh.
well, it's like, will Texas ever get another chance of having a housewife franchise after this? It kind of maybe ruined it for, they could have done in Austin. They could have done Houston.
Yeah, if they did, it probably would be Austin again.
Yeah.
Or like if they did Texas again, it would probably be Austin, I bet.
Right, right. Well, like and subscribe for more, and let us know your thoughts in the comments.